What's up, everybody? Jensen Cummings here. Thank you, as always, for tuning in. Today's Best Served Podcast 303. We're in the 300s, people. Instagrammable street food.
I always just try to, no matter what I'm shooting, whether it's food or ski or outdoor lifestyle or whatever it might be, trying to kind of relate it in a way where people can, rather than showing somebody what it is, kind of have them feel what it is always the goal. The storytelling aspect of who's making the food and why, and what's going into it. The finished dish is great. You know, we all want to see that pretty picture, but I'm much more interested in who's behind it, what ingredients they're using, how that relates to their story, and showing that in a visually interesting way that engages the viewer. It makes them want to eat the food, but makes them want to know why the person making it is an interesting person to connect with anyway. This is, to me, an example of just too close up in a sense that doesn't serve the food any justice. It's something that does get used fairly often in the food world, but I think can be used in a more engaging way when it comes to telling somebody's story, particularly on the ingredient side of things, where you can kind of create almost abstract photography related to the ingredients themselves, and then parlay that into how that ingredient relates to the dish, and then how that dish relates to your history and your story.
Yes.
These days with Instagram and social and everything, you need content. You got to put it out there. You got to stay in front of people's faces, but you want it to be engaging and relevant. And I think a fun way to do that for a lot of chefs that might be kind of overlooked is just focusing really intently on specific ingredients. I think that the flip side of a lot of food photography is lack of context, where we're just showing the dish and we're not showing anything else. So we're not showing the business. Maybe you've got a really beautiful truck and you want to be able to show that.
That is the fact, Joe. She has a very beautiful truck.
Yeah. We want to show that. Or you. We want to show you. And this photo reminds me of the classic fisherman's like, hey, look at my fish picture. This isn't specifically a bad photograph to me, but I think it's an example of a bit of a cliche. We want to give customers context to you and your story while we're showing the food, showing the dish in relation to your truck being in a beautiful spot, or showing the dish of you handing me, you know, a slice of pizza or whatever that could be, but with your face in it, because you're the one who's making it, so you're the one who matters at the end of the day. I think food photography can venture into the realm of kind of abstract art if you want it to, because there are, and you don't have, it doesn't have to be fine dining. I mean, that was just, you know, simple pasta. It's not anything crazy, but I think food's beautiful, and it doesn't have to be just a completed dish. And when you can show people a different perspective than what they're used to, that immediately engages them to think about it more, and it immediately makes you stand out. Those are the images that I gravitate towards more, again, coming from that chef's side of it, and that perspective of wanting to, I think people enjoy, you know, in the world that we're in now, we're so far down the line of post Food Network stuff where people enjoy hearing and seeing chefs' real stories more than just manicured and highly polished food photos that are super stylized. If you're getting mad at me for taking too long to take the photograph because it needs to get to the customer, like, that's the exact sort of scenario where I think you're telling the most authentic story.
How you feeling? This is it.
Good. Excited.
Yeah.
Completely terrified still, but feeling. I mean, I think if I wasn't, then I'm not challenging myself in that type of thing either. So I think sometimes it's good to be completely terrified, to push the limits.
That's it. That's where transformation. That's where a lot of that transformation happens. So, you know, you have such a good foundation. You're so thoughtful, and you can cook. Keep those things going. And make sure you don't fall out of balance with those. The food is just the proof that you are who you say you are. And I believe that you are who you say you are. Now it's time to share with everyone else.